Yes,
Call
sir.
business, madam.
Yes.
There was a, from Albertine, from that area, the accused was transported by Sergeant Mkhano and Sergeant Mapena. They passed at Chris Hani Hospital.
My besuka lapha Alberton uSergeant Mabena no Sergeant Mkhano badlula esibhedlela saseChris Hani Baragwana.
Angwazi lokho.
I have no knowledge of that.
Where they found Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu.
La bathola khona ore Lieutenant Colonel Rapadu.
Angwazi lokho.
I have no knowledge of that.
Colonel Rapadu was inside the hospital and he gave the keys to his wife.
Colonel Rapadu wayekhona lapha esibhedlela wanika ukhiye ebanika unkosikazi wakhe.
Angwazi lokho.
I have no knowledge of that.
And he got into the car, to the Toyota Fortuner. They traveled with the accused, Sergeant Mkhano and Sergeant Mapena.
Utwaye seke ngena kule Fortuna wasehamba no Mabena no Mokhali.
Angwazi lokho.
I have no objection and no knowledge of that.
They went to Orlando. They proceeded to Orlando, where they parked next to a dumping area.
Ke ba qhubeka baya eOrlando la bafika kupapaka khona eceleni kwendawo leyo ekuthiwa dumping area.
The accused also noticed the ATM machines that were no longer in use.
Umsola ke wabona ke nale machine le ama ATM ayingasasebenzi.
Upon as they were in that place, Brigadier Gininda arrived with the white BMW.
Bese lapho ko Brigadier Gininda waza ehamba ngeBMW emhlophe.
Cha angwazi konke lokho.
I have no knowledge of that.
All right. Then after that, the assault of accused number 2, it continued up to that place. And upon the arrival of Brigadier Gininda with his white BMW, he opened the boot and sat on the edge of the boot.
Umsola ke kwaqhubeka kufika kuleyo ndawo wathi ke mase fika uBrigadier Gininda wavula ibhuti yemoto ahlala khona la phezulu kwebhuti.
Cha mina angwazi konke.
I have no knowledge of that.
Then he took out some documents.
Wabe ke esekhipha amaphepha athize
And gave them to Colonel Rapadu
wanika uColonel Rapadu
for accused number 2 to forcefully sign those documents.
ukuze kuphoqelele umsolo wesithupha wesibili ukuthi akawasayini.
Angwazi konke lokho.
I have no knowledge of that.
So in the nutshell, this is the version of accused number 2.
Kusho ukuthi kafushane ke iloko kubekwa umsolo wesithupha ukuthi kwenze izinto zonke zenzeka ngaleyo ndlela.
Engakusho nje mina ukuthi angikwazi konke lokho lento umsolo wesibili akushoyo.
All I can say is that I have no knowledge of what the accused number 2 is saying.
My Lord, that will conclude my cross-examination.
No, you're not yet through, sir. You remember you said accused number 2 when he was at Tembisa with his two colleagues. He says there were 3. He says there were 2. He says there were 3, including himself. So a red motor vehicle. This red motor vehicle went to buy bananas. And then, whilst they were looking at this motor vehicle, then 7 motor vehicles came. While they were still surprised, then 5 of these motor vehicles, then you forgot about it. 5 of these motor vehicles, what did they do?
My lord, that was accused number 1, my lord.
Yeah.
But I refer to.
No, I'm finishing it because I made a note.
All right.
And then you went to consult your clients. And
Oh, I beg your pardon. It slipped my mind.
yes, I know. That's what I'm reminding you.
If we get back to Tembisa,
ake sibuyele ke eThembisa
where accused number 1 was arrested,
la umsolo oqala aboshwa khona.
there were 5 officers who were not wearing uniform.
So unamaphoyisa amahlanu ayengayigqokile uniform.
The other 8 were wearing uniform.
Lamanye kayishagalombili ayegqoke uniform.
Inkosi enkantolo mayikwazi ukuthi besibathathu laphayana kuyimina qobo lwami Constable Sadiki no Sergeant Mohola abangagqokile uniform nalabo abanye cha ngibazi.
I'd like to inform the court that there were just 3 of us. It was I, Sergeant Mohola, and Constable Sadiki. Those that you are mentioning were wearing uniform and those that were not wearing uniform, I have no knowledge of those.
And the cars were not parked around the place where accused number. They came walking to the area where accused number 1 was arrested.
Tshake imoto zange sipake la babe bekhona beza behamba ngeenyawo.
Angaphazami imoto sibhake masimbona maqondana naye.
If I'm not making a mistake, we parked the car when we saw him adjacent to where he was.
My lord, I think
Yeah.
I've covered it.
Okay, fine. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Right, Mr. Nisi.
I cannot have instruction from accused.
Thank you. Mr. Mumalu.
Thank you, my lord. I have no questions to the witness. Thank you.
Yes, Ms. Mshololo.
Thank you, my lord. Sir, let's go to Exhibit TT1. Exhibit TT1, my lord, is the notice of rights
Yes.
of Ms. Muzi Sibiya, my lord, accused number 2.
Yes.
Thank you. You said you have it?
Sure, name.
Nginayo impela.
I have it.
Okay, let's start with paragraph 1. What did you explain to the accused?
Manje ke asiqale lapha paragraph 1. Wathini ke kumsolo?
Amangomtshela amalungelo akho ukuthi unalo ilungelo lommeli.
I told him that he has the right to a lawyer.
Read paragraph 1.
Oh.
Funda ke paragraph
You have a right, you have the right to consult with a legal practitioner of your choice. Or should you so prefer,
No. 1 is 1. Paragraph 1, under the notice of rights, under
Oh.
that heading.
you are being detained for the following reasons.
Yes.
Dealing in
Read.
drugs.
Interpretation.
Uboshwa ke boshelwa nazi izathu.
Okay. You see the date? This was the 31st of May.
Njengoba mhla 31st kuMay.
Am I correct?
Kunjalo.
Okay.
That is correct.
And you have testified that you have found the accused in possession of unlicensed firearm. Is that your evidence?
Uthe wathola umsolwa
Ammunition, not firearm.
I'm sorry, my lord. What is not correct?
That he was found in possession of a firearm. That is not his evidence. His evidence was that accused number 1 was found in possession of ammunition, not firearm.
I ask the court, please, my lord. Can I just rephrase that, my lord? You remember at the time when you arrested the accused and you went inside his house?
sakhumbula ngesikhathi ubopha umsolwa wangena endlini yakhe.
Ngisakhumbula
I
What did
still
you find?
remember.
What did you find in this possession?
Wathola nini?
iy'nhlava ezingasetshenzisiwe.
Okay.
I found live rounds.
Okay. Is that charge included in paragraph 1?
Khona ke lelo cala libhaliwe lapho paragraph 1.
Cha, alibhaliwe.
It is not included.
Okay. let's go down to the certificate by detainee.
Awusahlalisile la kubhalwe khona certificate by detainee.
Can you just read it into the record? That paragraph. Certificate by detainee I, Moses Tesibia. Continue.
Name of the detainee, hereby certify that I have been informed in Zulu
Yes.
Ngifuna ukusho ke lapho ukuthi ngitsheliwe ngolukaMthaniya
it of my rights in terms of the constitution
Yes.
ngemalungelo ami ngaphansi komthetho
as set out above
njengoba ibekiwe ngaphezulu
by Sergeant Mohola,
njengobekwe Sergeant Mkhola.
the name of the person who informed the detainee,
Umuntu okwatshela umsolo
and that I understand the contents thereof.
ukuthi ngiyazwisisa ukuthi kubhalwe na phakathi.
You see, this is contrary to what we have said here in this court. The
Yabona
form
ukuthi
itself, it says who the person read the rights to the accused, and it's not yourself. Am I correct?
Kuyasho ukuthi ubani kwatshela umsolo ngamalungelo akhe kuwena lo.
Unless if the form is wrong.
Kungayiphutha ukuthi kuthiwe mina angishongo ngoba ngabhalanga. Akusho ukuthi ngoba ngabhalanga ngikushongo lokho.
It would be a mistake to say that just because I did not write, I did not tell the accused of the rights.
If I remember very well, in your testimony, you said when you explained these rights, the Sergeant Mohole was next to you. Didn't you say that?
Uthe wena umfundela amalungelo akhe uSergeant Mkhola wayeseduze kwakho.
Qiniso?
That's your evidence. Yes. Then now I'm saying, when you explained these rights, were you referring to this form, am I correct?
Manje umukhuluma ngokuthi umtshela amalungelo wawukhuluma ngale form anginjalo.
Angomtshela amalungelo ngokomthetho siseko.
I was telling him his constitutional rights.
Which are contained in this exhibit.
Akhona la kule exhibit.
Iqiniso.
Remember, this exhibit was submitted to the court because it was explained by you in the presence of Sergeant Mohole.
Angithi wena uthi wena phela wacheza lo ngapha amalungelo akhe ekhona uSergeant Mkhulu.
Kodwa lokho akokunqamula ukuthi kwaUSergeant Mohola naye umtshelile.
That does not imply that that Sergeant Mkhulu did not tell him herself.
Okay, it's fine. The document speaks for itself. It's clear that you are not the one who explained these rights. Let's go down. Certificate by third person as a witness if required.
Bathe la ngaphansi certificate sika witness uma ukuthi adingeka.
You testify that when you explained the rights, there was a witness next to you, which is Sergeant Mohole.
Wathi noma umtshela amalungelo akhe wakukhona ufakazi wayekhona la eduze ku Sergeant Mkhulu.
Correct, kunjalo.
Yebo kunjani?
And why is that part is not completed?
Yini
To say
indlela
there is a
lapho
witness who was
kungagcwalisiwe
next to me when I was explaining these rights.
nokuthi ke ufakazi wayekhona la eduze kwami ngimtshela amalungelo akhe.
Ngiyacabanga ukuthi ngesilungu lapha kubhale ukuthi if required uma kufuneka. So bese ngekho isizathu la.
It is even written here in English, if required.
Yeah, we want
But there
proof.
was no requirement there.
We want proof that these rights were explained according to what we have said to this court.
Sifuna ukuthi la sibonakale kahle ukuthi amalungelo awatshelwa wona ngale ndlela wena othi watshelwa ngayo.
But this document does not confirm what you said, does not confirm that there was any witness. It could have been Sergeant Mohole, it could have been someone else.
Kodwa ke la kubhalwanga ukuthi wakhona ufakazi mhlawumbe ngaba uSergeant Mkhulu mhlawumbe ngaba omunye umuntu.
That witness is not the content, the details of that witness are not contained here. Am I correct?
Ngane ke lo ufakazi ayikho la.
Yebo awukho.
Yes, not in.
In other words, there is no witness who can confirm that these rights were explained by yourself as you testified to the accused.
Manje usho ukuthi ke ayekho ufakazi ongeza azoletha isiqiniseko sokuthi ngempela amalungelo wachazelwa njengoba kushiwo la.
Ngisasho namanje kungayiphutha uma kubekwa kanjalo ngaphambi kwale nkantolo.
Well, I still reiterate it would still be a mistake if it is put before this court in that fashion.
Yeah, the form says it's all.
Form ichaza konke.
Ithi form uma kubalulekile.
The form says if required.
Don't worry, let's leave it for argument. We're done with these exhibits, okay? It shows that the rights were not explained. That's why it is contradicting like this. Then, firstly, when you were asked by Sergeant Mohole to assist them, you are the member of the Metro Police, and Sergeant Mohole is a member of the SAPS. What kind of the duties you were requested to perform?
When I get nanisiza i-SAPS kwa yiphi imisebenzi ufanele niyenze?
Make ngichazele inkosi yenkantolo ukuthi umsebenzi owenziwa yi-South African Police Services ne-Metro Police umehluko kungaba mncane and umehluko khona
I've
we-investigation.
never asked that.
Yes,
never
mncane
asked that.
uyafana umehluko.
Let me just explain that the difference between the work that is done by the SAPS and Metropolis is very small.
You know what, Constable, what's your rank?
Constable.
For how long have you been a constable?
Yo,
Useneminyaka
since
emingaki
ngaqala
uyi-constable?
ukusebenza.
My Lord, can I please ask for intervention here? Both they are talking to each other and I'm completely left out.
My apologies, man. Okay, let's correct the year of service. For how long have you been working as the constable in the Metropolis?
Over 20 years.
Useneminyaka emingaki usesiphoyiseni?
No
Over
promotion,
20 years.
nothing.
Over 20 years.
Okay,
Let's see what the relevance of that question is.
okay. My question was,
Sorry, my lord, whilst, I'm sorry, my colleague. Whilst we are at it, Advocate Mshololo is putting propositions to the witness, for instance, that the fact that the notice of right was not signed by the witness TT1 shows that the rights were not explained. I don't know what the basis of the submission is, whether she has instructions to that effect, because counsel for accused 1 and 2 never put that proposition to the witness. We did not take issue with her at that stage, but you know, we just want to sound or signal our intention to indicate that we don't think that is the correct thing.
Okay, yes, Mr. Sholo.
my lord, I said I will leave that for argument, what is contained in this document, my lord. Thank you, my lord. Constable, I put question, you answer. You understand that?
Ngicela ukuthi uma ngikunika umbuzo uphendule. Uyakuzwisisa lokho?
Ngiyazwisisa.
I do.
If the question is not clear, you ask me to repeat. You don't ask me.
Uma umbuzo ungacacile, ngicela ukuthi ngiwuphinde.
Okay?
Ngiyabuzwa.
I understand.
My question was, what was the request? What were you requested to do? What kind of services you were required to perform as a Metro Police officer when you were asked by the member of the SAPS?
Manje umbuzo wami uthi wawufanele wenzeni? Wawucela ukuthi wenze enhloboni yomsebenzi. Uma ucele ukuthi usize njengephoyisa lase-Metro ucelwe abakwa basesiphoyiseni sase-South Africa i-SAPS.
Umsebenzi wami kwakuyobopha
My duty at that time was to go and effect an arrest
nokumvikela umseshi.
and to protect the investigating officer.
Okay. Do you have a written permission authority for that day
Unayo yini imvume ebhaliwe yalolo suku?
that was authorized by your supervisor
Eyayigunyezwe usupervisor
that you are tasked to go and perform these duties in Tembisa
ukuthi ke wawufanele ukuthi uyokwenza lo msebenzi eThembisa.
under this case?
Bengingayidingi lo.
I
lo
did not
informal letter.
require that authorization letter.
Do you have it, yes or no? Did you have it, yes or no? Did you
Sir,
have a written authority, written permission, written instruction by the head of your department or your supervisor to say you are instructed to go and perform these duties?
Unayo yini yebo noma cha incwadi ebhalwe usuperintendent wakho ekugunyazayo ukuthi ufanele uhambe uyokwenza lo msebenzi eThembisa?
Cha.
No.
And there is no supervisor who had given such authority that you must go and render the services in Tembisa.
Futhi akekho supervisor owikunika lelo gunya lokuthi ufanele uyosebenza lo msebenzi eThembisa.
Khona.
Is there?
Yes, who is that supervisor?
Ubanike lo supervisor?
Vishan Singh.
It is Vishan Singh.
Okay, how did he give you
Wakunika kanjani le mlayalelo?
the instruction to go and render the services?
Ngocingo.
Umyalelo ukuthi uhambe uyokwenza lo msebenzi?
Okay. No problem. Vishan Singh is still going to come and testify in this court regarding that authority, whether you had authority to conduct the duties that you conducted on the 30th of May.
Vishan Singh usazozayina inkonzo azochaza ukuthi awuvunyelwe yini ukuthi uwenza lo msebenzi eThembisa.
Okay. Let's move on.
Asiqhubeke.
Sergeant Mukhale had the warrant of arrest in his hand. Am I correct?
Usergeant Mkhalo wayephethe warrant of arrest ngesandla akunjani?
Sergeant Mukhola.
It is Sergeant Mukhola.
Yeah.
And you executed the duties as per that warrant of arrest.
So manje wena wenza umsebenzi wakho uhambisana naleyo warrant of arrest.
Kunjalo.
That is correct.
And is it correct that when you executed those duties, you found accused number 1 outside the premises?
Manje umwenza ke lo msebenzi wakho wathola umsola wokuqala engaphandle kwegceke.
Wephakathi egcekeni ngaphandle kwendlu.
He was inside the yard, out of the house.
Okay. And how did you know, how did you find out that out of the 2 that you found, who was accused number 1?
Manje wazi kanjani ke wena ukuthi kulabo ababili imuphi umsola wokuqala?
Ngohlobo lwempahla besitshelwe ngalo abezigqokile.
We had been informed of the colors and the types of clothes that he had been wearing.
Okay. So in other words, you were convinced that the person who was in front of you, it fitted the same description that we have been giving
So
when you
uthi
approached him.
honestly sokuthi lo muntu lo phambi kwenu wayechazwe ngalendlela ayichazwe ngayo ukuthi uyena lona imbhekile.
Kunjalo.
That is correct.
And when you apprehended him, you had no doubts about his identification.
Kusho ukuthi uma senizombopha naningena kungabaza ukuthi ubani.
Kwakukhona.
There was
What?
doubt.
What?
Yini indaba?
What doubt?
Ingakho simbuzile igama lakhe.
That is the reason why we asked him his name.
Okay, what else did you ask?
Yini kokunye nambuza kona?
Ukuthi uphethe umazisi kuyena.
We asked him if he has his ID on him.
Oh, okay. And the other one?
Manje lo munye,
Basange simbuze lutho.
we didn't ask him anything.
Oh, okay. Why?
Indaba.
Bese sigculisekile ngalo simtholile.
We were already certified that we had found the one that we were looking for.
Okay. Is it correct that after accused number 1 had responded and had given you his names, you were supposed to apprehend him and take him to the cells?
Manje umsolo wokuqala umese nimtholile na nambopha wanika nanegama lakhe benifanele nimthathe nimise emaseleni akunjalo.
According to the warrant of arrest that you were executing.
Kukhambisana ke ne-warrant of arrest.
Bengilandela umseshi mina.
I was following the instructions of the investigating officer.
Oh, okay. But in terms of the warrant that you were executing, you had apprehended the person, you were then supposed to take him and go with him.
Kodwa kukhambisana ne-warrant lena iphethe kwakufanele ukuthi nithi nje uma senimbophile nimthathe nimise emaseleni.
Ngiyavuma.
I agree.
Okay. Do you know anything called search warrant?
Yayazi yini into ebizwa ngokuthi search warrant?
Ngiyazi kahle.
I know it very well.
Did you have a search warrant?
Nani nayo yini search warrant?
Cha.
No, we did not.
Okay. How come did you search the accused house without a search warrant?
Manje ayiseshelani indlu kaMsolwa ningenayo search warrant?
Sasingayeli kuyosesha.
We were not there to go and search.
Okay, what were you going to do?
Kanti nani ukwenza?
Ufuna umazisi?
We're looking for an ID.
Yes.
Yebo.
Azange ngumthola umazisi la bekangikhomba khona.
We did not find the ID where he had initially directed me to.
Did you have handcuffs after we have apprehended accused number 1?
Nani sena, can you please repeat that one?
Did you have handcuffs at the time when you apprehended accused number 1?
Nani baphethe inozankosi ngesikhathini ibopha uMsolwa kuqala?
Kunjalo.
That is correct.
Okay. Did you handcuff him as you had asked him to lie down or to sit where you were apprehending him?
Namfaka inozankosi ngesikhathini imlalise phansi.
Kunjalo.
That is correct.
Yes. Then what caused you not to tell him to get the ID book and bring it to you? Because you did not have the search warrant.
Ngoba nani ngeke ningenayo search warrant, yini ngeke ningamtshelanga ukuthi ahamba yolanda ipasi lakhe abuye na?
Angeke uze umuntu oboshiwe umkhulule uthamba olanda umazisi wakhe.
You cannot release an arrested person to freely go and fetch their ID.
Okay, it's fine. Let's move on for the sake of progress. But do you confirm that those ammunition that you recovered from the accused number 1's house, you recovered them when you did not have a search warrant, when you did not have the permission to search the house?
Uyavuma yini ukuthi lezi inhlamvu enazithola lapha?
There are various instances where provision is made for a warrantless search, and it is incorrect to put the proposition that my learned friend is doing to the witness.
Yes, Mr. Shoma.
My lord, I think this one is not complicated because it's direct to the witness to say, do you agree with me that when you recovered what you recovered, you did not have a search warrant to conduct a search at that time, my lord?
As I understand, Mr. Baloyi, it says that is not the only exigency of the law. Are you saying that there are various categorizations of what you can do when you are suspecting that an offense has been committed or is about to be committed?
Yes.
But the witness can answer this one, my lord.
Well, Mr. Baloyi is making a point of law. Is that so, sir? Maybe
Yes,
I'm wrong.
indeed, my lord. Unless those issues are first fleshed out, where the law makes provision for a warrantless search, one cannot start by asking this question.
Okay, let's proceed.
My lord, I cannot refer this witness to the provisions of the law. I rather leave it for argument, my lord. Thank you. Let's move on, sir. I need clarity on this one. At what time did you apprehend the accused for the first time when you executed the warrant of arrest?
Ngidinga incazelo ke kulokho. Nambopha ngasikhatsini uMsolwa uma senizombopha nge-warrant of arrest.
Angisasikhumbula isikhathi.
I'm unable to remember the time.
Was it in the morning, during the day, in the afternoon? We know the date. It was on the 30th day of May.
Kwayesekuseni kweyisemini laliselitsha iliya umtsha wendoda ngoseyazi date ukuthi kwakuyini.
Kwakusemini.
It was during the day.
Okay. It was during the day. And when was the accused detained into the police custody?
Manje uMsolwa kwagcina efakwe nini ke emaselini?
If you still remember.
Uyakhumbula?
Ngicela uphinde umbuzo.
Can you please repeat the question?
When was the accused detained?
uMsolwa kwagcina efakwe nini emaselini?
Ntathakusa.
In the morning.
Oh, okay. So from the time when he was arrested up to the early hours of the morning, you were present?
Usho ukuthi kusuka ngalesikhathi eboshwa uMsolwa uze kuyofika le ntathakusa wawukhona wena.
Yebo.
That is correct.
Okay. And when this notice of right was explained, you see the date is written 31 May 140. You see the date there?
Uyabona idate lapho?
Kunjalo.
Yes, that's correct.
Were these rights explained on the same day or on the following day?
Manje ke amalungelo atshelwa wona ngalo lelo langa noma ngelanga elilandelayo.
Or they were explained when he was detained?
Noma watshelwa lamalungelo ngesikhathi ke sezofaka emaseleni.
Lawa bhaliwe watshelwa wona ngalesikhathi.
The
Esiphalwela.
written form was filled at that time when he was
Did you
given
hear the question?
the. Uzwile umbuzo?
Ngicela uphinde.
Can you please repeat?
When were these rights explained? Were they explained when he was detained? Or at what stage were these
Wa-
rights explained?
Manje ke amalungelo wona watshelwa nini? Watshelwa ngesikhathi eseboshwa ufaka phakathi noma nini?
Lawa wawatshelwa eyofakwa emakhamandeleni lawa.
These ones where he was told when he was going to be put into the cells.
So it means you arrested the accused during the day, and for the whole afternoon and the night up to 1:40, that is, he was only detained. Am I correct?
Manje kusho ukuthi ke wena uthi umsolwa waboshwa emini wase ke hlala sonke lesisikhathi azayotshela amalungelo akhe eseyofakwa emaseleni ebusuku.
Kuyiphutha lokho.
That is not correct.
Yeah, that's why I was asking you, because I need to understand this document. That's why I
Uzwela wena
related.
ngoba ngifuna ukuzwisisa kahle ukuthi kubhalweni kule document.
At what stage was this document completed? Was it
Ukwazi
when?
ukuthi le document iyagcwaliswa nini?
Because I want to understand this date
Ngifuna ukuzwisisa kahle ukuthi le date yani.
and the time when you detained accused number one.
Futhi ngesikhathi sokuthi umsolwa ke wavalelwa nini?
If you can't recall, it's okay.
No,
Ukwazi ukukhumbula kulungile.
ngicela ukungakhishwa enkantolo. Uqwembe lolu lwagcwalisa ngalesikhathi esishicilelwe la.
This form was filled at the time which was written here.
Yeah, what was happening at that time? Were you detaining him or he was not yet detained?
Manje ngalesikhathi kwasekwenzeka ke yena senimvalela noma engakayi kuyovalela.
Ubesevalelwe.
He was being detained.
Oh, okay. That's why I'm saying, so it means from midday on the 30th up until early hours of the 31st. That is only when the accused was detained for the first time.
Kusho ukuthi kusuka emini wa umhla 30 wahlala kwaze kwaba esentathakusa mhla 31 kwayimayivalele.
Qiniso lelo.
That is correct.
What was happening all this time?
Bekwenzeka nini ngaso sonke lesikhathi?
Abaphenyi bephenye.
The investigating officer was still investigating.
Okay. No, it's fine. Thank you. Let's move on to the day when you escorted accused number 2 on the 24th of June to the magistrate at Boksburg. You remember that incident?
Can you please repeat?
The incident of the 24th of June 2020, when you escorted, I don't know whether you escorted, but when you were present, when the accused number 2 was taken to Boksburg Magistrate Court. Do you remember that incident?
Sakhumbula ngomhla 24 kuJune 2020 umsola eyiswa eBoksburg emahofisini eManji.
Ngiyakhumbula.
I remember that.
Okay. You testified about the remarks that were made by the magistrate when he first saw you on the passage.
Uphawulile ngaloko kwasho uManji ngiqala ukunibona
About the fact of being many and heavily armed. You remember those remarks?
ngokuthi nani baningi futhi nihlomile.
I'm not sure how you related to it, but you said the magistrate said, why so many? Are you intimidating the accused or herself? I want to get clarity on that. What exactly the magistrate said? Did the magistrate
Ngifuna ukuzwa kahle ukuthi uManji wathini ngoba ngathi
As a court, please, I don't think that question is correct. The witness has spoken, he never mentioned, the magistrate spoke of a
white lady.
A lady.
Whom he didn't know.
And secondly, he did not speak of a corridor. He mentioned an area, an entrance that is used by the police and as well as the prisoners.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you, my lord. Well, where you were standing when you say you saw a white lady, was it next to the office of the magistrate? Where exactly was that passage? I need to understand now, because the accused that you were escorting was taken and escorted up to the office of the magistrate. So where were you standing where you saw that white lady?
Nanimephike ngalesi sikhathi nibona lo mlungu lo ngoba nathi ulo umsolwa waphelezelwayo wayiswa ehhovisi lika magistrate. Ngifuna ukwazi ukuthi nanimephike ngesikhathi nibona lo mlungu.
Uma ungena enkantolo ngegate
If you enter the premises of the court using the gate,
la kuhliswa khona kamabanjwa.
that is an area where the suspects are taken out of the cars.
Okay. Jonathan testified that he escorted the accused also up to the office of the magistrate where he was waiting outside.
Jonathan ufazi wathi baphelezela umsolo ukuyoze uyofika ehhovisi lika magistrate.
Were you with him or you remained behind?
Unaye noma wasala wena?
Ngasala mina.
I remained behind.
Where?
La.
Sakwele emotweni sayopaka eprecinct.
We went back to the cars and went to park at the precinct.
Yes, but the evidence of Jonathan is that he stood outside the office of the magistrate.
Manje ke ufazi kaJonathan buthi bona bama lapha ngaphandle kwehhovisi lika magistrate.
And according to Jonathan's evidence, he said there are police officers, there are other members of the Metro who did not want to give their appointment certificate, and those members were Constable Buthelezi, Constable Mapumulo, Constable Monareng.
Uthi ke ukhona amaphoyisa angazange anike umagistrate incwadi zabo zokuqashwa koku Constable Buthelezi, Mapumulo noMnare.
Ngangengekho phakathi ehhovisi okanye ngaphandle kwehhovisi lakamanje.
I was not inside or just outside the office of the magistrate.
Did you give your appointment certificate when you were asked to do so?
Why keep any appointment letter yakho mosicela ukuthi uyikhiphe?
Akekho umuntu okwangicela.
Nobody asked me for my appointment letter.
So it means Jonathan was mistaken when he mentioned that there was Constable Buthelezi, Constable Mapumulo, and Constable Monareng.
Usho ukuthi ke wayenze iphutha ke yini uJonathan Methi labo kwaku Constable Buthelezi, Constable Mapumulo no Constable Mnareng.
Iphutha impela.
That is a mistake.
And also Jonathan further testified that those officers left and waited into their cars. And according to your evidence, you said you left the premises and waited outside the premises at the Metropolis's offices. Am I correct?
Jonathan wathi yena lamanye amaphoyisa ahamba yo ilinda la ngaphandle wena uthe navele nasuka naphindela le nahamba nayopaka eprecinct.
Kunjalo.
That is correct.
Okay, so you see the difference.
Yeah,
Jonathan says those police officers, including Constable Buthelezi, which I believe it's yourself, left and waited in their cars.
Ke lamanye amaphoyisa kufana Constable Buthelezi baphu okusho ukuthi wena baphuma bahamba behlala emotweni zabo.
But you are saying you did not wait in the cars, you went outside.
Kodwa ke wena uthi ngizaye ngihlala emotweni senu naphumela ngaphandle.
Ngichaza ukuthi asingenanga ehhovisi lakamanje, asipakanga imoto asisishiyanga kule ndawo kamanje, saphuma ngemoto sayopaka eprecinct.
I'm trying to explain that we didn't go into to the magistrate's office. We did not park at the parking there. We took the cars and went out to the precinct.
Yes, I know that, but that's not what I'm asking from you. It's the difference. Two statements that Jonathan testified that those police officers, including yourself, went into their cars. That's what Jonathan testified in this court.
Cha ukona umbuzo wami ngiyakuzwisisa lo kodwa umbuzo ula ekutheni uyawubona yini lo mehluko ukuthi Jonathan uthi nahamba nahlala emotweni wena uthi naphuma nahamba naye eprecinct.
Yes, which is which?
Yikuphi kokuyikona?
Which one did really occurred according to your evidence?
Ngendlela wena ufuna ukuchaza ngayo yikuphi okwenzeka?
Okwenzeka ukuthi angisizange thina sangena phakathi ehofisini lakamanje.
What happened is that we did not go into the magistrate's office.
Bathe nase sibona ukuthi seba safe saphuma ngemoto sayi precinct.
When we noticed that they were now safe, we then went out with our cars to go and park at the precinct.
No, I'm not asking about the office of the magistrate.
Angibuzi ngeoffice likaMagistrate.
I'm asking about the issue of those police officers, including yourself, waiting in their cars.
Engikubuzayo uyilokhu ukuthi ke amaphoyisa ahamba ayolinda ezimotweni zabo.
Salinde emotweni.
Yes, we did wait in the cars.
Oh, okay. You did not now go to the metropolises outside the court premises.
Manje kanjani niphume lapha emahofisini amanje naya ngaphandle.
Ngicela ukuchasela inkosi enkantolo ukuthi ngithi saphuma la endaweni zakamanje sayopaka endaweni emetropolis eseduzane nendawo kamanje.
What I'm trying to explain is that we went out of the magistrate's building and the yard, and then we went to park at the Metropolis precinct, which is very near.
Okay, no, it's fine. I will note that. Let's move on for the sake of progress, Constable. When you saw that lady who made remarks, you were heavily armed. Am I correct?
Umbona ke lo sisi owaphawula lapho lo muntu osifazana owaphawula nanihlome kakhulu akunjalo.
Ikunjalo.
That is correct.
And the accused was amongst yourself. Am I correct?
Msola we nani akunjalo.
Cha, akunjalo.
No, that is not correct.
Where was the accused at that time?
Where laphi komsola correct.
Nalaba bebaphambili.
He was with those that were in front.
Who were those?
Go Oban.
Angisakhumbula utho ba.
I'm unable to recall who it was.
Okay. How did you find out that the accused was done with what he was doing inside?
No,
The magistrate.
zikanje nathola kanjani ulwazi lokuthi ke umsolo eseqedile ngalokho ayengene ukuyokwenza le ngaphakathi.
Jonathan bekakhuluma nathi.
Jonathan was communicating with us.
Okay, it's fine. Then let's move on to the incident wherein you went to escort accused number 1 to Albertine, SAPS. You remember that incident?
Asikhulume ngokuthi na Perez kanjani umsolo uqanisa Albertine. Sakhumbula?
Yakhumbula?
I do remember.
Okay. It is your evidence that you remained outside the premises of Albertine, SAPS. You did not enter inside.
Faza
The
ukuthi
CSC.
nahlala ngaphandle kwegcela esiphoyiseni sase-Albertine zange ngene ngaphakathi akunjalo.
Kuyiqiniso?
That is correct.
Is it also evidence that when you were waiting outside there, you were heavily armed?
Iqiniso yini ukuthi mani sekhona lapho nanihlome
Or
kakhulu
maybe just to say you were armed the way you were armed?
asithi ke nanihlome ngale ndlela nanihlome ngayo.
Iqiniso?
Okay.
That is correct.
And when you escorted accused number 1 to that place where they went to, you were also armed.
Uthi ke noma niphezela umsolo uqala umeya la eyakhona nanihlomile.
Ngicela inkosi silungisele yoku-escorta.
Okay.
Can we please correct this issue of escorting?
Yes, you can correct it.
Besingayisiphathi yabantu beba-escorta.
We are not part of the group that was escorting.
Okay.
Besilapha buduzane uma kuzoyenza ukuthi siyadingeka.
We were always remaining close by just in case we would be needed.
Oh, okay. But you were together with the convoy.
Kodwa nanihamba nayo ke le convoy.
Cha, kuyiphutha lokho.
No, that is not correct.
Okay. When they were at the scene wherein they were working, wherein Colonel Hadebe was working with the photographer and accused number 1, you were also not there.
Lapho khona uKhenel Radebe senza nomsolo nani ngekho khona lapho.
Sasingekho.
No, we're not there.
Okay, it's fine. May the court just bear with me, my lord. Just a second. Thank you, my lord. I have no further questions to the witness.
Thank you. Any reason?
Just two aspects, my lord. In cross-examination by counsel for accused number 5, regarding as to what happened when you saw the lady who made the remark, can you just clarify where exactly did you see the lady?
Manje khona umbuzo kubuza ummeli kamsolo losihlanu ukuthi nani lapho ngesikhathi ke nizobona lo muntu esifazane wayelaphi ke lo muntu esifazane nani lapho.
Ongena egayitini ngizoyibiza i-driveway ngaphandle kwebhilidi.
When you enter into the premises using the driveway,
Yes.
Ngaphandle kwebhilidi.
that is outside the building.
And in cross-examination by counsel for accused number 1 and 2, you said she did not appear like a magistrate.
Uthe wena umbuzo umsolo ummeli kamsolo kuqala nowesibili uthe wena akazange abonakale njengemanje.
Akufikanga na yebo. Yebo.
That is correct.
And just to clarify that aspect, did you go up to the passage where the magistrate office is situated, or did you remain there at the entrance?
Mele asicaciseke la
The
ukuthi
entrance reserved for police and prisoners.
manje asicaciseke lapho ukuthi wena ka waya noma uzange uye yini la ephashiseni la kungena khona la kunomnyango wehhovisi lika la kunehhovisi lika lemanchi noma waphelela la eminyango la kungena khona amaphoyisa neboshwa.
Ngaphelele eminyango.
I went only as far as the door.
Now, counsel for accused number 1 and 2 made allegations of assault against you. Has there been any criminal charges that have been laid against you?
Manje ummeli kamsolo kuqala nosibili uthe abasola bebekhala ngokuthi bashaywa manje khona yena amacala nathi sona okushaya.
Cha alikhe ngilaziyo.
No, I have no knowledge of such a case.
Were there any complaints lodged against your employer, the Ekurhuleni Metro?
Kukhona yini icala mhlambe kukhona ndo kwabekwa kumqashi wakho uMetro Police?
Cha.
No.
Thank you, my lord. Those are the only aspects.
Thanks. Maybe strictly speaking, this has got nothing to do with this case. But just for background, have you ever heard of accused persons being transported with the normal vans of the state,
Wabo ezwa
police
yini?
vans, being taken to court in the morning? or being taken from court in the afternoon. Do you understand?
My lord, I think I missed something.
Has he ever heard of an exigency where when the accused are either taken in the morning to court, transported in a van or the big trucks, or taken away from court towards their police cells or jails?
Wake wezwa yini ngokuthi khona isikhathi lapho abasolwa bethathwa khona ngamaveni amakhulu lawa amaphoyisa eyiswa enkantolo zemanje noma ukususwa enkantolo zemanje kusetshenziswa nozona lezi moto bephindiselwa ejele?
Yebo.
Yes.
They are being hijacked by supposedly either their comrades or colleagues or whoever, and the police being shot with AK-47s. Have you ever heard of that?
Wakwezwa yini ukuthi khona lapha okwenzeka khona ukuthi amaphoyisa ahlaselwe mhlamba abangani noma abanye nje abantu abehlasela lawo amaphoyisa aphelezela abasolwa ngeibhamu ezinkulu
And those
AK-47
prisoners being released, or the accused being released
futhi ke
by
nokuthi
these AK-47 wielding Good Samaritans.
kusho ukuthi ke ney'boshwa ke zikhulu yibo labantu abaphethe ikhale njengo AK-47.
Yebo ngingazo.
Yes, I've heard of that.
Now, tell me, when it is put to you that you were heavily armed, what's your view? When they say you're heavily armed, if there's a possibility after what I've sketched to you
Emva kokuthi ngichazele
Being attacked.
ibekele lesi sithombe
by AK-47 wielding persons, and you come with a .38,
manje ke uthini ke wena uPaula uthini ke emva kokuthi ngibekele lesi sithombe sokuthi khona abathwala ama AK-47 bayozama ukukhulula noma bakwazi ke nokuthi bakhulule iziboshwa, uthini ke wena ukuthi nihamba nihlome ngalendlela enihlome ngayo niphethe mhlambe i.38?
Ya isona isizathu esenza ukuthi sibukeke ngendlela esibukeka ngayo nanoma siphethelezo ibhamu sibuke ngalendlela.
That is the reason why we appear as we appear to people. We're armed in that fashion.
well, the court can take judicial notice of what the court has put to this witness, because this exigency has even happened in court, inside court. Judges were locked into their cupboards when, it's about 8 months back, six or 8 months back, when AK-wielding persons, released persons in the Johannesburg court, shot some of the guards at the entrance. The courts were adjourned. The judges, including this one, were told to hide in our wardrobes. So I'm taking that as judicial notice. Not that it affects this case, it applies to this case. I'm saying that exigency happens. It's a reality. Any questions arising from that? Mr. Gomezul. Well, let's start with your colleague here, Mr. Baloyi. You heard of that exigence
No questions from me.
and the Johannesburg court.
Yes, we've heard of such instances.
People were killed actually on the passage there. These guards who check on firearms and what have you, 2 of them, ladies, were blown off. You heard of it?
Yes, we heard of it.
And of course, when these prisoners were taken into the Joubert Street, OK Bazaar, John Stutterfords, getting into the parking lot, they were released. The whole truck full of accused persons from various courts, JP, Cleveland, wherever. They were released. You heard about that?
Yes, that's why we are adjourned at 3:30 in this matter to avoid such situations.
Yes, Mr. Ngomezulu, do you know anything about what this court is saying?
My lord, I've never heard.
You have never?
It's only
Where do
one
you practice?
incident,
Where do you practice?
but it's only one incident that I remember in Joburg, where the prosecutors were forced to go on top of the roof
One incident.
by the families of the accused. That's the only one that I know.
Mr. Mnisi, you are a prosecutor. You have never been told to lie inside your cupboard.
I know of the incident, but probably the .38 special can be no match to the AK-47.
Yeah, I think so too. Mr. Ngomalo,
Thank you, my daughter. I've heard about such incidents. Thank you.
Mr. Mchonolo?
My lord, no, at least no one was forced to make a statement under those circumstances.
No, Mr. Mchonolo, you're an officer of this court. You've got to answer with integrity and honor. It's not a joke.
Oh, my lord, I haven't had any incident.
And it has nothing to do with making a statement.
Thank you, my lord.
Yeah, okay. So these uniforms, when they say you are heavily armed, is that your normal uniform?
Manje lezi uniform lesenigqoka enizigqokayo
No comment.
manje uma nigqoke niphethe izikhali ezinjengalezo injwayelo yokugqoka leyo uma nisemsebenzini.
Yebo.
That is correct, my lord.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, sir. You're excused.
So ungahamba ke.
Yes, Mr. Baloi.
As you could please, my lord, may we adjourn until tomorrow?
Tomorrow.
Yeah, we've agreed with my colleagues that we'll continue tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, tomorrow 10 o'clock.